Amber Heard to earn $15 million for tell-all memoir about marriage to Johnny Depp. Is it true that Amber Heard is about to earn $15 million for tell-all memoir about her marriage to Johnny Depp? Is this a new phase after their trial? Some even believe that this book might be enough to subside her financial woes if new reports are to be believed. So, join us and let's talk about everything we know about this. Let's get started. Is Amber Heard writing a memoir? Amber Heard is continuing to face attacks online following her highly publicized loss in court in the defamation trial against her ex-husband Johnny Depp, as she is now being criticized over rumors she intends to release a tell-all book. She has lost a lot of respect ever since she lost the trial, and she is massively trolled on social media every single day. Publishers are actually locked in a bidding war to get their hands on Heard's book, and some offers have reached no less than the $15 million mark. One insider said that she has nothing to lose, and the source noted that Heard is not afraid of losing future acting work, as she believes that major studios have already deemed her unemployable as a result of the trial. Amber considers her career in Hollywood over. She's already in talks and is excited about, at this point, she has nothing to lose and wants to tell all, the source said, adding that she is not in position to turn down any money. Depp sued the Aquaman actress for $50 million in damages, alleging that Heard did irreparable damage to his career with a 2018 Washington Post op in which she identified herself as a victim of domestic violence. In the end, he was awarded $10.35 million in compensation, while the jury granted Heard $2 million in punitive damages in response to her counterclaim. That leaves Heard with a debt of $8.35 million, an amount that her attorney says she's unable to pay. Some sources close to the star have also claimed that Amber is broke after the trial, and she was actually spotted in the discount store TJ Maxx in New York with her sister Whitney at the weekend, browsing reduced clothes. No doubt there would be a satisfying irony in paying off her ex with a memoir that's sure to portray him in a very unflattering light. Lawyer Dror Beikel told the publication, Depp and his attorneys will be reading and listening to everything that Heard states. If she crosses the line, which is likely, there is no question that we'll be hit with another defamation suit and end up right back in court. It's clear that Heard wants to share her side of the story, as she's been attempting to do with her recent interview with NBC. She mentioned that she is terrified that Depp could sue her again. I guess that's what a defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It meant to take your voice. What I learned in the trial is, it's never going to be good enough. If you have proof, then it was a scheme, it was a hoax. If you don't have proof, it didn't happen. If you have a bruise, it's fake. If you don't have a bruise, then violence clearly didn't hurt you. If you told people, then you're hysterical. If you didn't tell anyone, it didn't happen. What happened during the defamation trial? The dispute between the former couple set the initial fire back in 2018 after Amber's Washington Post op calling herself a victim of domestic abuse. It originated in 2016 during Los Angeles divorce proceedings in which Heard obtained a temporary restraining order to accuse Depp of beating her before and after their marriage. By the end of that summer, the restraining order was dropped and the ex-couple issued a loving settlement statement suggesting the matter was resolved amicably. Heard promised to donate her $7 million settlement to a children's hospital and the ACLU. Then, more than 2 years later, she published her column. In 2019, Depp sued Heard for libel in Fairfax County, where the Post is published, asserting that she defamed him, damaged his reputation and his Hollywood career, and cost him millions in income losses, even though her column never mentioned him by name. On April 11, 2022, the weeks-long defamation trial started in Fairfax County, and finally, a jury has found both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp liable for defamation in their lawsuits against each other. The jury awarded significantly more damages to Depp, a legal win for the actor. The jury awarded Depp $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. The jury awarded Heard $2 million in compensatory damages and no money for punitive damages. Depp sought $50 million in damages and Heard sought $100 million. Punitive damages in the state of Virginia are capped at $350,000, so the judge reduced the punitive damages award to that amount. The verdict is a tremendous legal win for Depp and a repudiation for Heard, according to CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. It's a tremendous victory. What he had to overcome was a First Amendment issue, which is that we all have the right to express our thoughts and opinions. What the jurors said was that Yeah, you do have a First Amendment right unless you say something that is false that injures someone's reputation and causes damages to them in their industry, Jackson said. What is Amber Heard doing after her loss? After the Fairfax verdict, Heard and her lawyers made a series of TV appearances to speak about the outcome and reject the judge's decision to rule some evidence unacceptable. Heard's lawyer, Elaine Bredehoft, argued the jury was influenced by social media commentary during the trial, which was overwhelmingly against Heard, and thus the verdict is invalid. Heard had asked the court to nullify the verdict and order a new trial after discovering that one of the 7 jurors did not receive a summons. Heard's lawyers are also seeking a mistrial based on questions about the true identity of Juror 15, asserting a discrepancy in the juror's age. Heard's team suggests the wrong person showed up for jury duty, was improperly vetted by the court, and thus may have served illegally. Ms. Heard's due process was therefore compromised. Under these circumstances, a mistrial should be declared and a new trial ordered, Bredehoft said in a new filing on July 8th. In Depp's brief, his lawyers argued that an investigation of Juror 15 is misplaced, at least in part because Heard's legal team failed to raise an objection about this juror at the time, thus waiving her right to challenge the accuracy of information about the jury panel selected. Under Virginia rules, unless Heard can show the irregularity was intentional or that it would probably cause an injustice, then it can't be cause for setting aside a verdict or ordering a new trial, Depp's lawyers argued. Ms. Heard has shown no evidence of prejudice, and therefore her belated argument regarding Juror 15 should be rejected by the court. The Depp brief argued. Depp's lawyers also argued that Heard missed a deadline to file her post-trial motions. Judge Penny Ascarate dismissed Heard's argument, finding that her team should have raised the objection sooner and there is no evidence of fraud, and no evidence that the mistake biased the trial. Defendant does not allege Juror 15's inclusion on the jury prejudiced her in any way. The juror was vetted, sat for the entire jury, deliberated, and reached a verdict. The only evidence before this court is that the juror and all jurors followed their oaths, the court's instructions, and orders. This court is bound by the competent decision of the jury, the judge wrote. A former prosecutor and president of Los Angeles-based legal firm West Coast Trial Lawyers, Niyama Ramani, said that there is almost no chance that Amber Heard is going to get a new trial, and he even mentioned that a few of the issues she raised in her brief will be basis for a successful appeal. For instance, Heard argues that the jury should have been told about Depp's loss in a foreign libel trial against a British tabloid that called him a wife-beater, though he has never been convicted of that crime. Ramani notes that the case took place in a different country with different defamation laws. It was decided by a single judge and not a jury, and Heard was a witness, not a party to the case. Even before the Virginia trial started, Judge Ascarate rejected Heard's attempt to get the case tossed based on the results of the London trial. Ramani said that there are clear and established rules about what is and is not permitted as evidence in an American civil trial. It would be an appellate issue for Depp, not Heard, if the judge had allowed an irrelevant verdict from another country in. It would be completely impermissible, he added. Do you think Amber Heard is going to write a tell-all memoir? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below.